Good afternoon. Welcome to my channel. Today we're going to continue working on Baba Noel, and we're going this way. We're already starting to work on the robe, continue working on the robe, and then we're going to go to start on the wolf on the other side. I'm trying to fix the camera. I'm not doing a very good job of it. So we're doing in the white part right here. I use the multi-placer, the 4-placer, to fill in the white because there's a nice area of color blocking that I can do, which helps me to go a little faster. I still have until Christmas 2 more to finish. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do it, but I'm working very hard at it. And this one is a bit easier because it is round, and the round drills I think is a bit easier to place. I watched many YouTube videos of diamond painting. This is how I learned, and watched and watched and watched before I decided to diamond paint myself. However, I have not seen grandmother's diamond painting. I'm sure there are. I would love to hear if you are also grandmother, golden age grandmother like I am. And you love to learn new crafts. I also do crocheting. I learned that last year when I got the news that I'm going to be a great grandmother. And I'm trying to get some light on here, not with very good success. So I do apologize. My equipment is extremely simple, yet, you know. But for a beginning, I think it will do. I was told if you want to make videos on YouTube, just do it. And this is how you learn. Although I did watch everything I could to try and educate myself about how to do this. Oh dear, I have a long way to go yet. But I'm working on the problems. Now, we're going to go this way. And of course, the camera is not this way. Excuse me while I move. So we're going to go this way to the white area. And there's also a little bit more of color blocking that I can fill that in. And then after I do that, then we can go to the confetti part and fill in the rest of Baba Noel's clothes. I already did his face. I'm rather confused, as far as the yellow skin. I don't understand why his skin is yellow unless it's from the light of the lamp, and this is why the skin is yellow, But I won't be able to tell until I finish the whole diamond painting because then the details come together. And when you are not looking at it this close, then it all makes sense. Sometimes you don't really see what it's going to look like until you step back and look at the whole diamond painting from a distance. I mean, after all, when you hang it on a wall, nobody's going to come right at it and stick their nose, And if they do, then you should tell them, excuse me, you are not to taste the diamond painting. You are supposed to admire it, right? Right. Yeah, sometimes grandma gives out orders. Oh dear, I'm all done with grocery shopping, menu planning. Of course, next week, with the baking and the stuffed cabbage, and it will be about 3 days of work, but it's a labor of love. The little grandson is 1 year old. He's walking already. A whole box full of gifts for him. I made a cover, a pillowcase, and this drill is upside down over here. Let me just straighten it out. I don't know why this drill decided to faint over there. Not very cooperative. So I made a cover for his crib, about a 150 centimeters by 120 centimeters, and a pillowcase to match. And what else? I made 2 pair of socks on 5 needles. And let me tell you, it took me 2 months to figure out how to do the German short row heels. You make the heels of the sock. And then, what did I discover on YouTube? Tube socks, which don't have the miserable heel. But once I figured out how to make the heels of the socks, it was absolutely no problem. Just trying to figure out what I was doing wrong. And what I was doing wrong is I made the first half, and instead of going back, going the opposite way, I made it again. So actually I had 2 halves of the heel, but not the other half. It's hard to explain. Unless you know how to do it, it's really hard to explain. And it was a very simple fact of not starting at the end, but starting at the middle to reduce what you have picked up. It's called a German short rows. And they are short rows because they are short. Right? Right. They also call it a boomerang heel in Hungarian, and that I totally did not understand. So I did a lot of swearing and everything else until I got that done. But now that I do know how to do it, it's really very simple. The second thing I was worried about, what do you mean 5 needles? 5 little needles. I have trouble with 2 needles, not 5, So I figured, well, if you put it on 5 needles, you're working on 2 of them. What's the other 3 doing? I figured the stitches will come rolling off the other 3 needles. No. They stay right there. I was surprised. I thought, oh, old girl, you did it. Oh my gosh, you did it. I congratulated myself since, my husband was sitting there. You can go in the store and buy socks. I said, it's not the same thing. And these are made for baby wool. So they are wool socks, nice and warm. And I have to put in instructions for the mommy that she should not wash them in hot water because they're going to be mini socks, like for Barbie. Wool has a tendency to shrink, as we all know. But then the mommy is very young, so maybe she does not know. So I put instructions in the box to how to care for them. Now the hat and the gloves I made for the baby, and I will show you in the next video. We're going to be crocheting. The gloves and the hat is made from, how do you say it in English? I don't know, I forgot the English. Polyester. It's totally washable on 40 degrees centigrade, so that shouldn't give any problem. Yeah, that's finished. So I have to wrap about, 6, 7 gifts, which I want to get done this week. And And because next week is going to be baking, cooking, the usual holiday cleaning from top to bottom. Hopefully it looks like we will be able to have family for dinner unless they come up with new restrictions. We are under curfew and limited lockdown. They lifted the shopping ban. There was a ban for age over 65. They could only go shopping between 9 and 11 a.m. Now, that certainly was not enough time for most people my age, over 65, to do the shopping, because we do most of the cooking and baking. The younger mothers work. They don't have that much time. Of course, they do make elaborate meals also. Hats off to the young mothers and wives. They have a full-time job, and on top of that, they're doing the housework, taking care of children, many of them studying to better their chances at better jobs. It's absolutely amazing. I'm really hats off to the young women nowadays. I think somehow in my days it was a bit easier. I was a full-time housewife. After college, I did not work. I got married and had children and was busy raising the children. This is how I was raised in the old tradition. That's the work of a woman, is to get married and be a wife and mommy. I was very happy to do that, very proud. But you know what made me very angry? When someone went up to me and said, Oh, I see. You don't work, do you? No, of course not. I work 24/7, Come try it. That really makes me angry. I do think that being a housewife and a mother is more than a full-time job. And I really resent those people saying, oh, you don't work. Why? What do you mean I don't work? If you would have to pay someone to do everything I do, how much money would it cost? I think once there was a program where they did try to add up what is the worth of a housewife's work. That is, if you were to hire a maid to do the cleaning, the cooking, the washing, and then a different nanny for the children, and then a nurse when somebody gets sick, and then somebody to do the outside, the yard, because lots of times, the husband does not have time. Maybe he's working in another city or overseas or studying or in a military. So the woman is left on her own to manage. She has a husband, but she doesn't. And she has to be mommy and daddy to the children while the husband is away. So when you add up all the people you would need to do the job that the woman is doing, all the different jobs, it would be impossible to pay under normal circumstances, But then I figure if somebody else would do all the chores that I do myself, then what would I do? So I do prefer that I should have the opportunity to make a choice, whether to go outside of the home and work or stay at home and be a stay-at-home mom. I do believe a woman should have the right to make that choice. And of course, in my traditional home, the man needs to support the family. Now, if the woman chooses to work, it's her prerogative whether she wishes to give money toward the support of the family. Most women do. But really, it's the man's job to support the family. Now, if he doesn't wish to do that, and the woman has a higher education and could get a better job, and they discuss it and they agree on it, then the daddy could stay home with the children. I see nothing wrong with that. If he's really up to it and is capable of handling the duties of being a house father, I don't know how to call it, then sure, it's between them. It's really nobody else's business. And if they are both happy, it's good for the children's psychological well-being to be in a happy household. And that way, the father could stay home and continue his study while the mother works. There are many different ways that you can agree on with your spouse, with your partner, to how you wish to divide the household duties. Now that I have grown out of the traditional role model, I would say there's no longer typically male and female roles. Each one should do whatever they do best. But I do believe the man should take responsibility for household duties and help out. Really, there's no, this is a woman's job and this is a man's job. I don't think that exists anymore. It would not be realistic. I come from a family where girls are in the military. I believe no one gives them any, better treatment just because they are women. It's extremely difficult everywhere to be successful. I don't care how much they say that there's equal rights, etc., etc. No, not yet. For some reason, they still think it's okay to pay less for a woman. I understand the reasoning, in the old times that the man supports the family, therefore he would need more money. But if they're doing the same job, working just as hard, then the woman deserves to be paid for the work that she has done. It doesn't matter whether, it's a male or female. The amount of work that was done should be paid accordingly, not according to what is the worker's